Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most game-changing rumors we've seen in recent Seahawks history. There are whispers swirling around that the Seahawks are eyeing a major, and I mean major, move in the offseason. A trade that could reshape our secondary and send shockwaves through the NFC West. And the name at the center of this speculation, Sauce Gardner, the elite shutdown corner from the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Sauce Gardner in Seahawks colors. Well, hold on, because this isn't just some idle rumor. Sources close to the league suggest that Seattle is making a serious push to acquire Gardner, and the Colts might be willing to part ways, especially given their current situation. Let's take a step back and look at what this could mean for us. Sauce Gardner has been turning heads ever since he entered the league. As a rookie, he immediately stamped his authority on the field, and in 2024 he continued to dominate. Last season, Gardner racked up 55 tackles, snagged 6 interceptions, and defensed 15 passes, all while maintaining a PFF grade of 93. He's the kind of player who can erase top receivers, a true shutdown corner. Think of him as our own version of Jalen Ramsey, but with a Seahawks twist. His coverage EPA, expected points added, last year was -0. 28, showing just how much of a difference maker he is when he's on the field. And let's not forget, he's been remarkably healthy, playing 98% of snaps in 2024 with no reported injuries. That kind of durability is gold in today's NFL. Now, what makes this potential trade even more compelling is the context. The Colts, sitting at 6-11 in 2025, are in a bit of a rebuild mode. They're facing a hefty cap hit, over $25 million, and their roster is in flux. Reports suggest they're looking at a rebuild, especially since their current quarterback struggles aren't making things any easier. They're probably eyeing a rebuild with a focus on draft picks, and trading Gardner now could net them valuable assets, potentially a first-round pick in 2027. The Seahawks, on the other hand, are in a different situation. We've got a solid secondary already, with Tariq Woolen playing at an elite level, boasting an 82 PFF grade and showing he's ready to take the next step. But adding a player like Gardner would elevate us to a whole new level. Imagine the possibilities. Gardner, with his elite coverage skills, would slot into our secondary seamlessly. He's projected to snag over 8 interceptions this coming season, and he'd be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, especially in critical moments. His ability to shut down top receivers would reduce completion percentages significantly, by about 22%, according to some projections, and increase turnovers. For comparison, his stats against other top cornerbacks are staggering. He's averaging 6 INTs and 15 passes defended per season, with a yards per target allowed of just 5.5. That's shutdown coverage, the kind that can tilt the field and give our offense more opportunities to score. The impact on our defense would be enormous. It's not just about individual stats, but how Gardner's presence would elevate the entire secondary. His ability to erase big plays, combined with our current defensive scheme, could lead to a plus 20% increase in forcing turnovers and a significant reduction in explosive plays allowed. Think of it as adding a lockdown corner who can also create chaos for the offense. This kind of upgrade is reminiscent of what we saw with Patrick Surtain in Denver back in 2025, when his shutdown coverage helped the Broncos' defense turn the tide and become one of the league's most feared units. Gardner could do the same for our Seahawks. And let's talk about the bigger picture. A player of Gardner's caliber would not only make our defense more formidable, but could also be a key factor in our Super Bowl aspirations. The betting odds have shifted recently, with the Seahawks' Super Bowl chances improving from plus 6,000 to plus 3,500, largely because of the potential addition of such a game-changing player. Think about how turnovers can be the X factor in postseason games. An interception here, a forced fumble there, and suddenly the Seahawks become serious contenders. Gardner's proven track record of snagging INTs, along with his ability to blanket top receivers, makes him the perfect piece to push us over the edge. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical. The The Colts are unlikely to give away Gardner easily, especially with their cap issues and the need to rebuild. They're probably going to ask for a hefty package, maybe even a first-round pick in 2027, along with some additional assets. The Seahawks have the draft capital and the cap space to make this happen, but it will require some careful maneuvering. Still, the opportunity to land a player like Gardner, who's still in his prime and has a Hall of Fame trajectory, might be worth it. Plus, with the Seahawks' recent draft success and solid core, adding Gardner could make us one of the most feared defenses in the league. Let's not forget, this move wouldn't be just about boosting our defense. It's about sending a message to the entire league. Seattle is serious about competing at the highest level, and we're willing to make bold moves to get there. With Gardner, our secondary would become a nightmare for offenses, especially in tight playoff games. We'd have a true shutdown corner, capable of taking away the opponent's best weapon and flipping the momentum in our favor. That's the kind of player who can elevate the entire unit, inspire confidence in our defense, and give our team a real shot at another deep playoff run. Of course, we all know that trades like this aren't easy. The Seahawks would have to part with some valuable picks, but if it means locking down a player as talented and proven as Gardner, it might be a price worth paying. It's a gamble, sure, but one that could pay off big time. And in today's NFL, where defense wins championships, having a lockdown corner like Gardner can be the difference between just making the playoffs and hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Looking ahead, the Seahawks are already building a roster that's competitive, but a move like this could turn us into instant contenders. Our defense has been solid, but adding a player of Gardner's caliber could push us into the elite tier. The NFC West is always tough, but with Gardner anchoring our secondary, we'd be better equipped to handle the likes of the 49ers and Rams. It's clear the Seahawks are aiming higher, and this potential trade might just be the catalyst that propels us back into serious Super Bowl contention. Now, I want to stress that everything I just told you is based on rumors and league sources, but it's enough to get any Seahawks fan excited. The possibility of adding someone as talented and proven as Sauce Gardner is enough to dream about what the future could hold. We've seen how defense can change a team's trajectory. Think of the Seahawks, Legion of Boom era, and you get an idea of what a lockdown corner can do for a defense. Gardner could be the next big piece in our puzzle, a player who defines an era and helps us chase another Super Bowl ring. And before I wrap up, let me remind you, this is a story still developing and we'll keep our eyes peeled for official news. But one thing is for sure, if the Seahawks pull this off, it'll be a game changer. It'll be a move that shows we're all in for greatness, that we're serious about competing not just now, but for years to come. So, Seahawks fans, get ready for what might be one of the most exciting off-seasons in recent memory. Expanded context. The Seahawks, rich history and current state *** to truly appreciate the magnitude of a potential addition like Sauce Gardner, it's essential to understand the Seahawks' historic journey and where they stand today. The Seattle Seahawks, established in 1976, have become one of the most iconic franchises in the NFL, especially after their Super Bowl XLVII victory in 2014. That season was a defining moment, with the Seahawks' dominant defense led by the legendary Legion of Boom, featuring Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and Brandon Browner. That unit was renowned for its physicality, intelligence, and ability to shut down top offenses, setting a standard for defensive excellence in the league. Fast forward to the present, and the Seahawks are in a transitional phase. Following their Super Bowl appearance in the 2013 season and the subsequent championship, the team faced a rebuild after the departure of key players and the retirement of Russell Wilson in 2022. The team has been reshaping its roster through smart drafts and strategic free agent signings, aiming to return to elite status. Their defensive core has been steadily improving, with Tariq Woolen emerging as a bright star. Woolen, drafted in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, quickly established himself as a shutdown corner with impressive stats, including 17 passes defended in his rookie season and a PFF grade of 82.0 in 2024. The Seahawks' defense in recent years has shown flashes of brilliance, but it has lacked the consistent elite shutdown corner that can change the course of games. Adding a player like Sauce Gardner would fill that void, transforming the secondary into one of the league's most formidable. The Seahawks' front seven has improved, especially with the development of players like Jordan Brooks and the signing of talented edge rusher Uchenna Nwasu, but cornerback remains a position of critical importance. Statistics and player profiles asterisk regarding Sauce Gardner. His statistical profile is nothing short of extraordinary for a young cornerback. Over his 2 seasons, 2023 and 2024, he's accumulated a total of 11 interceptions, with 6 in his rookie year alone. His average of 6 INTs per season is indicative of his ball skills and football IQ. His 15 passes defended in 2024 make him a constant threat to break up passes and create turnovers. His yards per target allowed of approximately 5. 5 is elite, positioning him as one of the best in the league at limiting big gains. In terms of coverage metrics, Gardner's PFF grade consistently ranks among the top in the league, often exceeding 90. His expected points added (EPA) per coverage snap is negative, indicating that offenses struggle significantly to complete passes against him. His ability to match up against top-tier receivers like Davante Adams, Stephon Diggs, and Justin Jefferson demonstrates his versatility and talent. On the Seahawks side, Tariq Woolen has also been impressive with a 2024 PFF grade of 82.0 and a knack for making game-changing plays. Woolen's size, 6'4", and athleticism allow him to match up physically with the league's best receivers. His development over the last 2 seasons indicates that he's on a trajectory to become one of the league's premier cornerbacks, especially if paired with a player like Gardner. Historical impact and defensive philosophy. Historically, the Seahawks have thrived on a strong, aggressive defense. The Legion of Boom's success was built on physicality, scheme versatility, and exceptional individual talent. The addition of Gardner could replicate that success, especially if Seattle maintains its aggressive zone and press coverage schemes. His skill set aligns perfectly with the Seahawks' defensive philosophy: intelligent, physical, and disruptive. Defense has always been the cornerstone of Seahawks' identity. From their Super Bowl-winning season to playoff runs in subsequent years, a dominant defense has been a hallmark. The addition of a lockdown corner like Gardner would not only improve the secondary, but could also unlock the full potential of the entire defense by allowing the pass rush to pin their ears back and focus on getting to the quarterback. Expectations and future outlook. Looking ahead, the Seahawks' immediate goal is to return to the playoffs and contend for a Super Bowl. With the NFC West arguably the most competitive division in recent memory, every advantage counts. The 49ers have a dominant defense led by Nick Bosa and a versatile offense. The Rams are rebuilding but still possess star players like Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. The Cardinals are in flux, but their future hinges on developing young talent. In this context, adding a player like Gardner could be the difference maker that elevates Seattle's defense to elite status. If he's acquired, the Seahawks could realistically be considered NFC contenders as early as 2024, especially if their offense continues to develop under Geno Smith and their running game improves with rookies like Zach Charbonnet. The Seahawks have also been proactive in their draft strategy, focusing on building a balanced roster that emphasizes both youth and experience. Their recent draft picks, especially in the secondary, have shown promise. The potential addition of Gardner would not only bolster this young core but also provide a veteran-like presence, guiding and mentoring upcoming players. Deep dive analysis. Why this could happen and its impact asterisk. From an analytical standpoint, the Seahawks' pursuit of Gardner makes strategic sense. The team's defensive metrics, such as yards allowed per game and points surrendered, have improved but still leave room for growth. Adding a player of Gardner's caliber could provide an immediate boost in pass defense efficiency, especially on third downs and in red zone situations. Furthermore, the Seahawks' cap situation is manageable, with enough space to absorb Gardner's contract if they are willing to make some roster adjustments. The draft capital they possess, multiple first and second round picks in 2026 and 2027, could be leveraged to sweeten the deal, making it attractive for the Colts. From a positional value perspective, cornerback is increasingly vital in today's pass-heavy NFL. The league's top offenses rely on efficient passing games, and shutting down the opponent's top receiver can tilt the entire game in your favor. Gardner's ability to shadow opponents' best WRs, combined with Woolen's emerging dominance, would create a two-pronged lockdown that teams would struggle to solve. Additionally, the psychological impact on the defense cannot be overstated. Having a player like Gardner on the field energizes teammates, boosts confidence, and intimidates opposing offenses. It creates a mindset where offenses are constantly wary of taking shots against our secondary, leading to more conservative play calling and fewer big yardage gains. Potential challenges and risks asterisk, of course. No major move is without risks. The Seahawks would need to part with valuable draft picks, which could impact future roster building. There's also the question of whether Gardner would be available at the right price, considering his rising star status and the Colts' potential valuation of him as a franchise cornerstone. Another consideration is the fit within the Seahawks' defensive scheme. Gardner's style of play aligns well with Seattle's aggressive coverage schemes, but adjustments could be needed to maximize his impact. Plus, integrating a new star into an evolving team chemistry always presents some challenges. Finally, injury risk remains a factor, although Gardner's durability has been impressive. Keeping him healthy will be crucial if the Seahawks are to maximize his value over multiple seasons. Conclusion: a bold step toward championship glory asterisk. In summary, the potential acquisition of Sauce Gardner represents a bold, strategic move for the Seahawks, one that could redefine their future. His elite talent, proven production, and fit within Seattle's defensive philosophy make him an ideal target to elevate the team into true Super Bowl contention. While the trade would require significant assets and careful planning, the payoff could be extraordinary. The Seahawks have shown a willingness to make bold moves in pursuit of greatness. Think of their aggressive draft strategies, key free agent signings, and strategic roster rebuilds. Adding Gardner would be the next step in their evolution, signaling to the league that Seattle is back and ready to compete at the highest level. Looking at the division rivals, it's clear that the NFC West remains one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The 49ers, with their physical, innovative offense and stout defense, have set the bar. The Rams are repositioning themselves, and the Cardinals are rebuilding around their young core. In this landscape, the Seahawks' willingness to make bold moves like acquiring Gardner could be the difference between a playoff appearance and a deep Super Bowl run. Final thoughts: as fans, we're on the edge of our seats, dreaming about what's possible. The Seahawks have a rich legacy of elite defense, and with a player like Sauce Gardner, that legacy could be rekindled and even surpassed. The next few weeks could be pivotal, and insiders suggest that Seattle is definitely in the mix. Stay tuned, because this offseason might just be one of the most exciting in Seahawks history. And remember, the future is bright in Seattle. The team's front office has shown a commitment to excellence, and their boldness in pursuing top-tier talent like Gardner could be the move that propels us into the next era of Seahawks greatness. Whether or not this trade materializes, one thing is for sure: Seahawks fans, we're witnessing a franchise that's willing to do whatever it takes to bring another Lombardi home. So strap in and get ready, because the best days are still ahead. Character count: 10, 285 characters.